Book review: There's No Map for This by Tom Birdseye. Plot summary: Tom Birdseye's There's No Map for This is gripping, emotionally raw coming-of-age novel that examines what it truly means to man up in the face of loss, love, and identity. At the heart of the story is 17-year-old Ren Adams, quiet, artistic teen who's finally found sense of safety and freedom after escaping toxic home life. Living with his older brother Levi and girlfriend Ellie, Ren begins to breathe for the first time. Away from his domineering fundamentalist stepfather and mother who never stood up for him, Ren clings to this new world of possibility. Where life is spontaneous, the rules are different, and the pressure to conform is replaced with the promise of transformation. But freedom comes with its own weight. Levi, charismatic and bold, pushes Ren to break boundaries and challenge his own limits. Emotionally, physically, and socially, with Ellie's encouragement, the household operates on adrenaline and ambition. Levi and Ellie want more for Ren than just survival. They want to shape him into someone bigger, bolder, and braver. They call it renovation, their playful term for helping Ren grow into his full potential. But their version of growth sometimes feels like pressure, and manning up remains confusing, fraught command. The turning point comes during one of Levi's infamous dares. Backcountry adventure that ends in tragedy. Caught in an avalanche, Levi is killed, and Ren's newfound stability is shattered. The grief is immediate and gutting. Levi, who had been both brother and Otto, is gone, and with him goes Ren's sense of direction. Ellie, devastated by the loss of the man she loved, responds by diving headlong into hiking treacherous trails, jumping into wild swims, chasing the rush that Levi once lived for. She tries to pull Ren along, insisting they keep moving forward in Levi's spear. But Ren is drowning. He doesn't know how to process the grief or keep pace with Ellie's chaos, and yet he can't resist her gravitational pull. And in a moment of vulnerability, everything changes again. One night, Ellie comes to Ren's room, and they sleep together. That is charged, confusing, and undeniably complicated. The next morning, Ellie is come without trace. No cult, just absence. Ren wakes up reeling, not only from the loss of his brother, but now from the disappearance of Ellie, the only other person who truly understood what Levi meant to him. What follows is a high-stakes, emotionally intense search that blurs the lines between rescue mission, grief-fueled obsession, and an aching need for closure. Ren's journey takes him into the wilderness, both literal and emotional, as he retraces Ellie's likely path, hoping to find her, to save her, or perhaps to save himself. His search becomes an echo of the dares Levi once challenged him with, dangerous, boundary-pushing, and transformative. As Ren ventures into the unknown, he's forced to confront not only his grief, but also his own identity. What does it mean to be man? Is it about fearlessness, about rescuing someone, about stoicism, or is it about vulnerability, empathy, and self-awareness? Through each step of his quest, Ren peels back the layers of his own pain and confusion, reckoning with the complexity of love, the weight of guilt, and the legacy Levi left behind. The novel refuses to offer neat answers or traditional arcs of heroism. Instead, it presents manhood as a messy, nonlinear process, full of contradiction, emotion, and moments of grace. Amid the wreckage, Ren begins to realize that there's no roadmap for becoming who you are. No single act defines manhood. No dare makes you grown. Maturity, he discovers, is not about manning up in the traditional sense, but about embracing the chaos, face for ambiguity, and finding your own footing when everything around you is shifted. By the end of There's No Map for This, Ren hasn't solved everything. He hasn't replaced what was lost, but he has begun to chart his own course, one informed not by dares or others' expectations, but by his own inner compass. In that quiet defiance, in that step forward, there is strength. Birdseye's novel is a searing portrait of adolescence at its most vulnerable, and it pulses with adrenaline and grief, desire and confusion, ultimately reminding readers that the journey to becoming yourself has no clear path, only the courage to keep going. Book review: Tom Birdseye's There's No Map for This is a compelling young adult novel that delves into the complexities of grief, masculinity, and self-discovery. Set against the backdrop of the rugged Oregon wilderness, the story follows 17-year-old Ren Adams as he navigates the tumultuous aftermath of his brother Levi's sudden death. Plot overview: Ren Adams finds solace living with his older brother Levi and Levi's adventurous girlfriend Ellie. This arrangement offers reprieve from his oppressive home life with fundamentalist stepfather. Levi and Ellie encourage Ren to push his boundaries through daring challenges they call ditto dares, aiming to help him man up. However, tragedy strikes when Levi dies in an avalanche during one of these dares. Overwhelmed by grief, Ren struggles to find his footing, while Ellie becomes increasingly reckless. Their shared sorrow leads to a brief, intimate encounter, after which Ellie disappears without trace. Ren embarks on desperate search to find her, confronting his own fears and the societal expectations of masculinity along the way. Themes and character development: At its core, the novel explores the multifaceted nature of grief and the journey toward self-identity. Ren's character is portrayed with depth and authenticity, capturing the confusion and vulnerability of adolescence. His internal conflict about what it means to man up is a recurring theme, challenging traditional notions of masculinity. Birdseye crafts Ren as compassionate and introspective individual whose philosophy musings add layers to his character. However, some readers might find these references to philosophical texts somewhat forced, potentially detracting from the narrative's flow. Ellie serves as complex counterpart to Ren, embodying both strength and fragility. Her descent into risky behavior highlights the varied ways individuals cope with loss. The dynamic between Ren and Ellie is intense and emotionally charged, reflecting the blurred lines between love, guilt, and the need for connection. Writing style and structure. Birdseye's prose is evocative and immersive, effectively conveying the emotional landscape of his characters. The narrative is interspersed with vivid descriptions of the Oregon wilderness, mirroring Ren's internal turmoil. The pacing is deliberate, allowing readers to fully engage with Ren's psychological journey. The use of metaphors, particularly the concept of life as jigsaw puzzle, underscores the theme of piecing oneself together after loss. Critical reception. There is no map for this has garnered attention for its honest portrayal of adolescent grief and identity formation. Kirkus Reviews describes it as an unusually raw, frank Bildungsroman, praising its exploration of emotional conflicts and the protagonist's quest for self-understanding. The Youth Services Book Review commends the novel's depiction of grief and its appeal to readers interested in outdoor adventure and emotional narratives. However, some critiques point to the novel's reliance on certain tropes, such as the transformative power of tragedy and the use of philosophical references, which may feel contrived to some readers. Author's perspective. In guest post, Birdseye reflects on the thematic evolution of the novel, noting that while he initially set out to explore grief, the narrative naturally expanded to examine societal constructs of masculinity. He emphasizes the importance of stories in helping readers navigate their own identities and challenges, stating, "We are at a moment in history in which we, regardless of gender, labels, or otherwise, are compelled to delve who and what we are, what we stand for, and how we might move forward." Conclusion. There is no map for this offers poignant and thought-provoking exploration of adolescence, grief, and the search for identity. While it may not break new ground in terms of narrative structure, its emotional depth and compelling characters make it worthwhile read for those interested in realistic fiction that tackles complex themes. Birdseye's foray into young adult literature is a commendable addition to the genre, providing readers with a narrative that is challenging and cathartic.